So you built something from nothing, just you, your laptop, and a dangerous amount of caffeine. But now there are 50 people staring at you, expecting leadership, and you're wondering if you accidentally started a company or a hostage situation. The stakes couldn't be higher, because the number one reason fast-growing startups implode isn't bad product. It's a founder who never made the leap from builder to boss. Let's back up and diagnose the real problem, because this isn't just about learning to delegate or sitting through more meetings. The solo founder is essentially a one-person nervous system sensing, deciding, and executing all at once, and scaling that to 50 people is like asking a single electrical wire to power an entire city grid. Think about what got you here. You were the hustler, the closer, the coder, the customer service rep, and probably the janitor on Fridays. That scrappy, wear every hat identity is your superpower at 0 to 5 people and your kryptonite at 25 to 50. The first skill you desperately need to acquire is structured communication, because what worked as a Slack message to your co-founder does not scale to a town hall with 3 departments who all interpret things differently. Researchers have found that poor internal communication costs mid-sized companies anywhere from $400,000 to well over $1 million annually in lost productivity. And that's before anyone quits in frustration. Here's the brutal irony. The decisiveness that made you a great founder, moving fast, trusting your gut, pivoting on a dime, starts to look a lot like chaos when 50 people are trying to plan their week around your mood. You have to build what organizational psychologists call predictable leadership, which is basically the boring, disciplined cousin of visionary thinking. Let's talk about the psychological toll, because nobody warns you that going from solo founder to CEO feels less like a promotion and more like a personality transplant. Reed Hastings once admitted that the hardest part of scaling Netflix wasn't technology, it was learning to lead people who were, in many ways, smarter than him in their own domains. History gives us a pretty clear pattern here. The founders who survived the scale, think Jeff Bezos, Brian Chesky, even a scrappy Patrick Collison at Stripe, all made a deliberate, almost painful shift from operator to architect. The ones who didn't, and there are dozens of cautionary tales from Silicon Valley graveyards, held on too tight, trusted too few, and micromanaged their companies into mediocrity or collapse. There's a misconception you need to squash right now, which is that becoming a CEO means you stop being a founder at heart. The magic isn't in abandoning your builder instincts, it's in redirecting them toward building culture, systems, and people, instead of just product. Now, let's get practical, because philosophy doesn't run payroll. The 3 skills you need to sprint toward are hiring people who challenge you, building operating cadences you actually follow, and learning to give feedback without making it feel like a performance review on someone's soul. You also have to get comfortable with what venture-backed founders call the decision tax. The reality that at 50 people, every decision you make or delay ripples outward with compounding consequences. Position sizing matters here just like it does in investing. Not every decision deserves your full energy, and knowing which ones do is itself a learnable, practicable skill. The community of founders who've walked this road is surprisingly generous with their wisdom communities like Y Combinator's forums, Lenny Rachitsky's newsletter, and even founder Slack groups are full of people who will tell you, often in very colorful language, exactly where they got it wrong. Their collective verdict is almost unanimous. Hire a great COO or head of operations before you think you need one, because by the time you feel the pain, you're already 6 months behind. Here's the absurd truth that nobody puts in the Forbes 30 under 30 profile. The skills that make a great CEO, emotional regulation, systems thinking, talent development, are not taught in any accelerator program. And most founders learn them the hard way, in real time, with real people's livelihoods on the line. That's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to be intentional, humble, and honest about your gaps before they become someone else's resignation letter. What gives us hope, and what the data from First Round Capital's research on founder-led companies actually confirms, is that founder CEOs who stay disciplined, self-aware, and coachable outperform professional CEO replacements in long-run company performance more often than conventional wisdom suggests. The edge isn't pedigree or polish, it's the earned credibility of someone who believes in the mission more than anyone else in the room. So here's your philosophical landing strip. Discipline, sizing your decisions correctly, and showing up consistently as the leader your team can predict and trust. Those are the actual job requirements, not the ones on the LinkedIn post. You don't have to be a perfect CEO on day one. You just have to be honest about who you are, relentless about who you're becoming, and brave enough to build a team that covers your blind spots while you grow into the role. Whether you're scaling a team, building something real, or just trying to figure out your next move, check out our links in the description below where we can help you get started in real estate investing, home contracting work, and connecting with the right lenders.